Okay, let's dance. Thanks for watching. Bye.
It's like my therapy. Not like my therapy. It is my therapy. Stop. Stop, I said. Jeez. Putting those together. I don't know. I'm sounding like a broken record. But that just took me about an hour. And it's just uplifting. It's like the best thing ever. So, fix that. Hey, girls. April 14th, 2026. Is it the 14th? That happened fast. It was just April Fool's Day a minute ago. April Fool's Day it sticks out to me for various reasons. I'll tell you about that some other time. That's a long story. A lot of things have happened to me on April Fool's Day. A lot. I'll make a note of it and we'll cover it some other time. Yeah. Anyway, the treehouse dance party. I came across that one again, and it's just like one of my favorites. All of it, just all of it. I sit here and I get all. I can be in the worst mood and put together the intro, and I'm just like on top of the world again. It's great. And it's because there's a lot of people out there that want to vilify me, so to speak, and I don't know. Go ahead. But seeing all that reminds me, oh, okay, I'm not a completely horrible person. Because that stuff, you know, when you tell somebody, hey, you're a terrible person, you can't see your kids, you're domestically violent, we're going to take your children away from you and never let you see them again. Yeah, that's pure evil, but somebody with a conscience is going to also look at themselves and go, are they right? Like, am I just pure evil and shouldn't see my children? That then reminds me of what the reality is of what's going on. And those people are, oddly enough, call themselves Christian, which is wild. That's the craziest damn thing to me. That they call themselves Christians and profess themselves as followers of Christ and do this. Okay. Hey, it's up to you, man. But anyway, all right, enough of that. I just got done working out. Good day so far. I got done working out and did the intro. I'm doing 2 workouts a day because somebody very close to me, somebody I care for very much, I don't know if they did it on purpose or not, but they reminded me or showed me that I was getting a little chunky. I was letting the physical health slide. And because of that, the mental health was sliding. Starting to get in a little bit of depression. And even the spiritual health was starting to decline a little bit. I wasn't praying as often as I usually did. and I'm back to it as of 3 days ago. And we should be open to those sorts of criticism. That's constructive criticism. It's good to be able to say, hey, you might want to lay off the sweets. Hey, you might want to get back in the gym. That, some people are going to get, oh, you're offending me. I'm offended. I'm supposed to be happy, and I'm not happy now because you said mean things to me. Okay, well, they're only mean if you take them as mean. I took it as, oh, shit. Okay, yeah, I got to get back to work here. I'm letting things slide. And what it came from was I'm still recovering from the seasonal depression of the holidays. It's a real thing. The holidays are notorious for bringing people down. Here it is April, and I'm still pulling myself out of the funk. So it's not bad to have somebody come to you and show you something. And it was just a picture of me. I was like, oh, God, it wasn't a flattering picture, I'll tell you that much. Okay, I got work to do. That is how we better ourselves. And what I said to this person is thank you. Thank you very much. Because, not to sound arrogant, but in my line of work, I get commended very often for being good at my job. I'm a good pilot. I know that. I hear it from various people, and I strive to get better. The way I got that good was listening to the criticism of others, listening to the advice of others, not getting offended, but taking it as constructive as, hey, this is how you can get better. And so, it's worked out for me, and I want it to work out in all aspects of my life. My stomach is grumbling. Can you hear that? It's because I'm also tapering off the intake. The food I'm eating salads now. No more donuts. I was going heavy on the donuts there for a month or so, maybe 2 months. So, but yeah, if you get offended because people tell you how you can better yourself, there's something really wrong there. That's an ego. That's the ego that I meditated on egos a while back because somebody had made the statement that I had a big ego. And I meditated on that, went into the silence, did my thing. And it can be tough for people to differentiate confidence with a big ego. The easiest way to differentiate it is, can you laugh at yourself? If you can laugh at yourself and take criticism, it's not a big ego, it's just confidence. When you criticize somebody who has a big ego, they get offended really quickly. And they're not able to make a joke about themselves. Think about people who you can't joke with. That's a big ego. I'm confident. This is something I say all the time. Excuse me. I'm confident in my inconfidence, lack of confidence, whatever. I used to think other people were confident. And then I found out, no, everybody's feeling the exact same thing I do, wondering how to get through this life, how to navigate this life and just get through it. I bought into the narrative that we are supposed to be happy for a long time and found out that was complete bullshit. And then I was like, oh, everybody experiences what I'm experiencing. Okay. And girls, I promise you, there are going to be people who want... oh, excuse me. Hold on. Yes, it's a monster, I know. But there are going to be people who want to make you feel as though you're different in life. There are going to be people who want to project their lack of confidence onto you. I assure you, I know you guys very well. You're normal. You're 100% normal. Don't ever, well, you can think that there's something different about you, and then you're different, but you're not any different than anybody else. Does that make sense? So I am confident in my lack of confidence. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. I'm just going through life with the guidance of God and trying to my best to figure things out and better myself. And if somebody wants to come to me and say, hey, this is how you can better yourself, I'm all ears. By all means. Which, by the way, I got a YouTube question for the first time. I was so excited. Somebody sent me a message and asked me a question. And it was about the end of the last podcast. The end of the last podcast, there is a hidden scene at the end of the outro. There's an intro and an outro. And at the end of the outro, I threw in Matthew Matthew apologizing to Peter from the Bible. Matthew the apostle apologizing to Peter and what Peter did with that. And I have it queued up because we're going to break it down. We're going to break it down right off the bat. So the background. I apologize. I know what it is. I vacuumed and it's all dusty in here. I got to change the filter on the vacuum. So here we go. That's Matthew. In The Chosen, they've made him mildly autistic. There's no record of him being autistic that I know of. But whatever. He was good with numbers. We know that because he was a tax collector. And that's where this starts, is tax collectors were viewed as the most just awful people in Jesus' day. They're not exactly viewed very nicely these days. But Matthew was a tax collector amongst his own people. And so he was seen as a betrayer, a sellout to the Romans. What happened was Peter fell behind on his taxes. And Matthew turned him in. Almost got Peter arrested and possibly executed. The Romans didn't take kindly to people not paying their taxes. Because what they would do is they'd throw you in jail until you could pay your taxes, but you couldn't work from jail. So you would fall further behind on your taxes, and then they would kill you as an example of people, of what they did to people who didn't pay their taxes. So Peter didn't pay his taxes. Matthew turns him in. And then Peter ends up having to go out on a lot of fishing trips, because he was a fisherman, to try and make money to pay his taxes. He was put in a real bind by Matthew, depending on how you look at it. You could also look at it as, well, Peter didn't pay his taxes, so he kind of did it to himself. See how that works? You always want to, anytime there's a resentment, you always want to look at yourself and see what you did to create that resentment. So Peter here doesn't care for Matthew, but Peter wasn't an innocent victim. Okay? All right, so we get all that.
Shalom.
So Matthew
You can have them.
comes to Peter.
Andrew, could I have a moment with your brother? Sorry, nope. You'll have to submit a formal request to speak to the rock. In writing.
Turn that up a bit.
I'm joking. I'm joking. Oh. Of course you can. I'm going.
And this is why I love this show, because it depicts these guys and women as people, just people.
Watch James and John pout.
Morning.
I'm sorry.
I said good morning.
No, I heard you.
Peter doesn't care for Matthew very much. And when Jesus went to select Peter as an apostle, Peter didn't care for that either. Remember, Peter's had a little bit of an anger issue. It's documented.
I said I'm sorry. So what I did to you. It has been over a year now, and I realize I never actually apologized for my role in your plight with your tax debt and for colluding with Quintus on reporting your activity.
Okay, so the apology. This is important. The apology was, hey, I'm sorry for reporting what you did and possibly almost getting you thrown in jail with Quintus, the Roman guy. That is an apology. Hey, I am sorry for what I did. Now, could Matthew have said, hey, I'm sorry that I almost turned you in or did turn you in or reported you or whatever, but you didn't pay your taxes, so it's not entirely my fault. That's not an apology. That is deflection. That is, hey, I'm sorry for what I did, but really, this was your fault. Oh, I got an update. I don't want to update Windows. I don't want to. So there's a very clear definition of what an apology is. An apology, the word apology means explanation. So you might hear that word apology used in different ways. It's an explanation. Hey, I'm sorry for what I did. Here's my explanation if you want to offer an explanation. Or you could just say, hey, I'm sorry for what I did. So let's see how Peter takes that apology.
Strange. After the sermon, the big one, I immediately went to my parents to apologize for my actions. I should have come to you next. And now my feelings are worse, and they won't be better if I don't ask for your forgiveness, so that's what I'm doing now.
So he's getting eaten away. Matthew is getting eaten by this feeling of, hey, I've done something wrong. The natural tendency is to deflect on another person, on the other person, and say, I feel bad because of what you did. Instead of just saying, hey, I'm sorry for what I did. And he's acknowledging that. He's saying, hey, I won't feel better until I say I'm sorry to you.
Oh.
And he's right.
Well, actually, I'm just saying I'm sorry. Forgiveness is a gift that you can give.
That's important. He's just saying, I'm sorry. He can ask for forgiveness, but forgiveness comes from Peter. Peter is the one who can offer the forgiveness. Forgiveness. It's an old term, but I'm removing the debt that you owe me. You no longer owe me a debt. I'm forgiving it. Think of it like, hey, I'm letting go of that resentment that I have towards you. That is up to Peter to let go of that resentment.
Or not give.
Not easy. Not easy. I know that feeling very well. Okay, so Peter goes off and he's not too thrilled about the idea of forgiving. So he struggles. Then the scene there is Peter just furious, basically, at what Matthew did. But is he really upset with what Matthew did? Or is he upset with himself? This is critical. Anytime we have a resentment towards somebody. No, not anytime. There are times where people are just straight up victims. But usually those kinds of victims don't hold resentments towards people. It's only when, I'm using a lot of definitives here, it's usually when we've played a part in the resentment that we carry that resentment because we don't want to admit what we've done. That's where the resentment comes from. There's another part to it as well. We see the sin as though we have been wronged. And there's a level of narcissism in there because we feel as though anybody who does wrong to us is a bad person. And that's what this conversation is about to be about with Jesus. So Jesus is praying. Peter's going to go to Jesus.
It's pretty late.
Yeah, I could say the same to you.
I suppose you could.
Something keeping you up?
I could ask the same of you.
Jesus knows. But he wants Peter to figure it out himself. I've been there.
What do I do when there is someone who has sinned against me? Egregiously, repeatedly, and without repentance.
Can't imagine who that would be.
The betrayal of our people by working for Rome, that was one thing. That was a sin against all of us and our heritage. You know, he showed no mercy when Andrew begged him for extra time on his tribute debt, and even charged an extra 60% on what was past due. You know, he was gonna let Rome seize our boat as collateral, which would have taken our ability to work and landed us both in jail, meaning Eden could have starved.
His wife.
He didn't even hesitate for a moment when Quintus asked him to spy on me. I'm up to 7, and I haven't even gotten to the fact that he was fully ready to turn me in the morning that...
The morning that what?
You know.
I do. He may have been ready to turn you in, but it didn't come to that. So for the moment, let's keep it at 7, the number of completion.
He sins against me 7 times, and I'm supposed to just forgive that.
No, not 7, but 77 times.
Okay. This is where people start taking the Bible and Jesus' words literally. Jesus did not speak literally most of the time. He spoke in examples, parables. He gave us examples to go by. 77, he just threw out a number. No, not 7 times. Forgive him 77 times. Oh, 77's the number. No. No. He's throwing out a bigger number.
I could stack him up that high if I really broke down each offense and the
Peter's
consequences.
taking it literally.
You know, I don't mean literally 77 times. 70 times 7. Completion times
70 times 7. 700 times. He's saying
completion. Endless forgiveness.
endless
Without limits.
forgiveness. What happens when we carry resentment? They eat away at us. And Jesus is saying, let go of that stuff. That is not anything that belongs in the kingdom of heaven. You have to let it go. And it comes back to the very first story of God and Lucifer. Whether you take it literally or not, it's an example. Because Lucifer carried a resentment towards God and then he was kicked out. That's what that story's about.
Look, a couple of days ago, you gave me a new name and made big proclamations. But whether my name is Simon or Peter, I'm still the same man I was the day before that. I'm still human. And I can't do it. I can't. And no one would blame me.
You mentioned the concept.
I've talked with, at this point, it's maybe thousands of people, I don't know. But at these various groups that I go to, therapy sessions, classes, whatever it is. It seems as though every single one of us will be faced with some sort of situation in which we feel as though we can't forgive somebody. That's the test. At some point in your lives, in everybody's lives, in my life, we are faced with a situation where it's like, I've been wronged so badly, I'm not forgiving that person, screw that person. It's too coincidental to be a coincidence. Peter is faced with this right now. And Jesus is telling him, okay, you think you've been wronged, right? Correct? You think you've been wronged. Let's break this down.
Consequences of Matthew's actions. Remember the circumstances they put you in?
Yeah.
Hold on.
And no one would blame me.
You mentioned the consequences of Matthew's actions. Remember the circumstances they put you in?
Yeah, that's all I can think about. That's why I'm out here and not asleep next to Eden.
But after that, when the sun rose,
So, he's telling Peter, okay, Matthew sinned against you. What happened after Matthew sinned against you? And he's trying to get him to think. Peter had to go to work. A lot of work. Leaving his home, going out on fishing trips, trying to catch fish to make money to pay the back taxes. And it was there, while out on this fishing trip that he had to go on because of Matthew, that Peter was introduced to Jesus and became, from Simon, because it was Simon was his original name, and then he became Peter after having to go on that trip where he met Jesus. It worked out in a way that is unfathomable. Jesus is telling him, yeah, he sinned against you. And it led you to this. Peter is now the rock that the church is built on. Yeah, I know I'm not a huge fan of the people part of the church. The people within the church, the people can be corrupted. But the church itself, the faith, Peter is the rock that it's built on. And it happened because Matthew sinned against him. If Matthew hadn't sinned against him, where would Peter be? Well, he wouldn't be Peter. He would still be Simon.
I know it's hard.
Why does everything have to be?
Man makes it much harder when he leans on his own understanding.
So we can break this down again to what I've been saying for a while now. Why is Peter upset? Well, because he was forced to do things that made him not happy. Peter had believed that he was supposed to be happy. Happiness came occasionally for him, but he had a job to do. He had things to accomplish. He was there for a reason, and it was Matthew's sin that led him to fulfill that reason. He's realizing that now,
Maybe I don't know.
and he's pissed. Who's he pissed at? Maybe he's pissed off that he didn't see what Matthew's sin had done, and that he was very short-sighted. Maybe. That's how I was. Just Just saying. Just saying. And he's mad. Jesus is laughing. So, you know the end of it. He's still pissed. I gotta go forgive this guy? Matthew was afraid he was going to get just clocked right in the face. So, when forgiveness happens,
I forgive you.
it's supposed to be a joyous event. And that's what they're showing there. If you ever run into anybody who tells you not to forgive somebody, I strongly encourage you to get away from that person, those people. I've heard that side of it too. No, don't you do it. No, he's dangerous. Don't you forgive him. No, that stuff, that crap, that is straight the evil one. That is straight the devil. That is nothing that has to do with Christ or God. Nothing. Endless forgiveness. That's the way that works. So, to the person who sent me the question, I hope that answers the question, and I hope that explains it to you girls. But, yeah, that's that. So, 77 times. Endless forgiveness. Not literal. Stop taking the Bible so damn literally. It's examples. Yes, there are literal things in there. The Gospels are literal. They're written as historical accounts of what Jesus did. But what Jesus had to say, like the stories he told, those are examples. So, the question, it also pertained to how I pray. How I actually pray. And I go again off what Jesus taught. Jesus taught a bunch of things about prayer. He gave us the Lord's Prayer just in case we don't have anything that we have like ready that we can say. We can say the Our Father, the Lord's Prayer. That's something he gave us as like a backup to pray. But when we pray, he wants us to be alone, quietly, in a place where we're just talking to God. Again, the silence, go to the silence. And when I pray multiple times a day. I'm back to it again. I was falling off there, like I said. But when I pray, like right now, if I'm going to pray, I will, Lord, sincerely, thank you for every one of my blessings and for the things that I don't even realize are blessings. I have no idea. I do actually have a very good idea how all these things have been given to me. I know I don't deserve them, but I'm going to work harder every day to earn them. Thank you for everything I have. Please bring peace to the people that hold resentments towards me and let them know that I am genuinely sorry for all the wrongdoings I've done. If there's anything I can do to make that better, please show me the way. And just thank you for everything. Now, that's my prayer. It's something to that effect multiple times a day. I don't ask for anything. Many people think prayer is, hey, can I have this? Hey, can I have that? Hey, can I have this? It is no different, praying is no different than a child talking to a parent. What does a parent, a good parent, want to hear from a kid? They don't want to hear requests. A good parent is going to give a child exactly what they need. And God will give you exactly what you need. You don't need to ask for anything. He knows. It's pointless to ask for things. You say, Lord, I know you know better than I do what I need, and please help me understand that what you've given me is everything that I need and more. That's what you say to a good parent. That's what a kid says. Hey, Mom, Dad, thank you so much for everything you've given me. I hope I can live up to the standard that you've set and earn these things. I'm going to honor you just like the fourth commandment. Honor thy mother and thy father, which doesn't mean you have to like your parents. You honor them, because the full commandment is honor thy father, thy mother, so that you may live a good life in the wilderness or something like that. It got shortened to just honor thy father, thy mother. But honor your father and thy mother means live a good life. Live a good, God-fearing, God-loving life. That's what that does. You honor your parents by, they gave you life. You honor them by making it a good life. And you say thank you. That's that. So that's how I pray. Made me think of something, though, because somebody else asked me, they watched the podcast, they're like, you wear the same shirt every time. And I don't wear the same shirt every time. I have 3 shirts. I have 3 shirts. What's this? Work stuff, which I'll tell you about in a minute. I don't need multiple shirts. I have work shirts, but as far as like just wearing just shirts, I got turned on to V-necks a while ago because I am relatively large, and I always thought V-necks were kind of douchey, for lack of a better term. And then I tried them on, and I never realized how much I felt like I was being choked around my neck. It was just normal. When I would put on a shirt, I would feel that. And then I tried the V-necks and the split necks. And I'm like, oh, that's so much better. So I have 3 shirts. 2 black ones and a blue one. It's great. I don't need any more. I got everything I need. Literally. Literally. That's literal. I have everything I need and then some. So I don't actually just wear one shirt, even though it might look like it. So that's that. What was I thinking about right now? Shit. I forgot. I had something else that I was going to trail off onto. Oh, well. Anyway, what's been going on? I just, doing 2 workouts a day. Trying to eat right. Stomach's growling. Went to Walmart and bought a bunch of salads. Salads. That's what I'm going with. Because I don't need... usually I was going with the protein, but I don't want to get any bigger. I'm big enough. And so I was checking out at Walmart, and they do this thing, and I'm wondering if they're going to do it by the time you watch these things, when you go shopping. Would you like to donate $5 to charity and this and that? It's like, no. And don't put me on the spot in front of other people where I have to say no, but I will say no. It's the biggest scam. It's such a scam for Walmart or Home Depot or wherever to ask you for money to donate to charity. Because what's happening is you're giving over your money to Walmart, and then they donate that money to charity and get the tax break on that money. So they're taking your donation and then getting money back from the government because you donated. It's sick. So no, when you want to donate to charity, you donate to charity. Tell these people to take a hike. So went over there, bought my salads, and then I was going to buy supplements, and then realized I'm taking the entire month of April off of supplements. And that's important. We were talking about supplements a while back. Oh, my back's getting tight. 2 workouts. Hurts. You got to do what's called deconditioning with supplements. So you take your supplements for 3, 5, 6 months, maybe a year. But then you got to let your body decondition to that, because it's just like building up a tolerance to anything. The same reason like people who drink have to drink more and more and more and more and more. It's because they build up a tolerance. They become conditioned to the alcohol. Well, your body becomes conditioned to supplements, and the supplements don't work as well as they used to. So you take some time off, decondition. Your body goes, hey, what happened to my supplements? Gets used to not having them, and then you start back up. So doing the entire month. No supplements. Letting my body get back into regularity there. So, but as I was leaving Walmart, the guy who checks the receipts, his name is Bruce. And I notice something about Bruce. I notice these things about people. I see it. He stands there. He's probably about 65, maybe 70. But he stands there and he doesn't really interact with people. And I've interacted with him a couple times. But when I was leaving, I made it a point. I saw him because he was just standing there and he just had this like dejected, kind of like demoralized look to him, like life didn't work out the way he wanted it to, kind of a thing. He probably bought into that belief of he was supposed to be happy. But I just stopped and handed him the receipt, and I just said, "How are you doing, Bruce?" And he looked up at me like, nobody asked me that question. And we sat there and we talked for a good 5 minutes. He just opened up about everything. And I just let him vent. Just let him just go. He was telling me about his wife, what she's doing. She's about to retire. About what they're going to do about Medicaid and Social Security. They're thinking about moving down to Belize. I found out all kinds of things about Bruce. And Bruce just had this big smile on his face because he was able to actually interact with somebody. And it got me thinking about a video that I saw. Let's see if I can pull it up. And no. Yes. There we go.
Like the ambient.
Okay, so I came across this video about a week ago, something like that. It's called. The title is "Nothing Feels Real Anymore." My mouth is getting dry. Nothing feels real anymore, and you're not imagining it. The functional melancholic. Oh, mouth is so dry. It's a channel I've watched a few times. About this guy. This guy puts out this channel, and he's just talking about his own feelings and his own observations of the world. And he's talking about
like the moment is happening just slightly behind glass. So technically,
he's talking about how he feels disconnected from the world, other people. That even when he interacts with other people, it just feels kind of dead. And I've seen this. This is going on regularly in our society. There's no more connection. And I go right back to Bruce, who when I reached out to him and just said, "How you doing, Bruce?" He just opened right up because somebody actually cared. And
while you're present, you can feel the chair, what city you're in, and honestly, some days that's about as good as it gets. I notice this usually in small, stupid ways, I guess. Someone tells me something genuinely horrible, like a death or a diagnosis or something,
And I catch myself having the right facial expression before I've actually felt anything. And yeah, it's strange. It's like the feeling has to load up or something. And there's this a half-second delay between the world and me.
So he just goes on to talk about this. I found it interesting. But what really got me was when I scrolled down the comments. And this is what got me. Does anyone else feel as though time is passing so quickly after 2020? We are living under trauma-based mind control. Our nervous systems are shot. Social media has fucked up society in my book. It has. Because it made people believe that they were supposed to be happy. You see pictures of other people. Yay, here's my Lambo. And here's my beautiful house. And here's this and here's that. And you are made to believe that other people are happy. So why aren't you happy? Because that's what you're supposed to be, is happy. And that's the lie. That's why this has happened. Is because people have bought that lie that they were supposed to be happy. Forgetting that they have, like Peter, a purpose, a job. I don't want to socialize anymore because I don't want to put on the act. Going out in nature helps return you to feeling aligned. Anybody else have constant dread, anxiety, depression, exhaustion, overall huge disconnect from yourself? But when you show up at work or go out in public, you basically go into a character. Like without even realizing you're doing it. You don't see or feel the change happen, but it just does. You go about your day laughing with your coworkers, chatting, people blending in, and none of it feels genuine on the inside. I'm betting that resonates with anyone watching this and everybody out there. And what happened was people lost sight of what this existence is supposed to be about. And I'm guilty of it. I did it too. That was me a few years ago. Just putting on an absolute act that wasn't me in every possible way, but experiencing total dread, anxiety, and depression. And then, by the absolute grace of God, I had my spiritual experience. I was shown, hey, no. That's not what this life's about, buddy. You got stuff to do. Get to it. And once I did that, it wasn't easy. Oh, Lord. You know. It was not easy. There was, if we're talking about it in terms of good versus evil, God versus the devil had me. 100% had a grip on my soul. And do you think the devil's going to just let go of that? If we're using that analogy, if you subscribe to that belief, which I do you think the devil's just going to go, go ahead, you're okay, take care? No. The devil puts up quite the fight and wants you doing his bidding. Nothing feels real except nature. Thanks, brother. Our phones, they're putting everyone in autopilot, unless you're aware of it. Clinical therapists, not reading that because clinical therapists are the ones that have caused this. Clinical therapists are the ones that have caused this, without fail. They're the most mentally ill people, and they go into the profession of mental health so that they can seem as though nothing's wrong with them. I constantly have this underlying feeling of dread. Events that should bring me so much joy are all tainted with it. And it goes on and on and on. I don't know how many comments. Thousands at this point, probably. But that's the disconnect. If you want to get out of that, if you're feeling it, which I'm sure you are, I shouldn't be so definitive. But I'm pretty certain, having now dealt with so many people who experience that and see it like that, this seems to be a common occurrence, to put it lightly. And if you want to get out of it, You have to stop believing the narrative that I'm supposed to be happy. I'm supposed to hang out with my friends. I'm supposed to go party. I'm supposed to have a good time. No. Those are things that happen occasionally. Most of the time, you will be unhappy doing what you're required to do. But it will feel fulfilling. You will know that you are doing something that matters and you're making a difference in this world. You're not just living in this world. One analogy I heard about this was living in somebody's house and just playing video games, eating, relaxing by the pool, and you're just living in the house, not paying rent, not cleaning, not doing anything. You're going to know that you're kind of a mooch. You're sitting there just kind of living off the benefits, the gifts that somebody's given you, and you're not giving anything back. So, if you want to keep that analogy going, get up and clean the house. Get up, help rebuild something. Help put up a new wall. Something to where you are contributing in that household. Once you start doing that, you will feel as though you are part of that family. You will feel as you are a member of that household. Right now, people don't feel that way because they are just completely convinced that spending time with friends is the important part of everything. And surprisingly, it doesn't work out. So, speaking of which, I'm going to go ahead and toot my own horn, pat myself on the back, because I could go get the camera, or I could take the camera outside. The garbage man came earlier, and I'm the only one on the block where the garbage man takes my garbage, throws it in, and then puts my can back where it's supposed to be. I went outside, I came back from Walmart, and I saw everybody else's trash cans are still lining the street except for mine. Mine is back up where it was supposed to be. Do you know why? Do you know why it's up where it's supposed to be and he did that for me? Because whenever I see him, I take the time to go, hey, Jerry. Hey, Jerry, how you doing, man? Hey, I appreciate what you do out here. Thank you very much. This guy, Jerry, great guy. But think about his existence. He's spending every single day, 8 hours a day maybe, in a trash truck just driving around. Nobody thanking him. Nobody saying, hey, I appreciate what you do. He's by himself. Just nobody to talk to. And then this moron says, hey, Jerry, how are things going? What are you up to? Thanks, man. I appreciate you. Leave him $20 occasionally in an envelope. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate you. Make the connection. And then what does he do in return? Hey, he puts my trash can back. So he doesn't have to do that. I just enjoy knowing that I have given Jerry some sort of like, hey, I matter type of a feeling. Somebody actually recognizes me as a human being. So do that. Go out. That's what I'm talking about. Every single time I say love one another, I'm loving Jerry. Sounds weird? Yeah, it sounds weird. Unless you think about it from the terms of giving him my energy. Because nobody else down the street or anywhere in the neighborhood wants to go over and give Jerry their energy to say, hey, Jerry, why don't we talk for a minute? I'll give you my energy for these next 5 minutes and we'll chat it up. Bruce, hey, Bruce, what's going on, man? I'm going to give you my energy for the next 5 minutes. Love. Giving your energy to somebody. Letting them know that they matter. That's what love is. And it's not you do it when you want to do it. And love isn't about being happy. I can just sound like a damn broken record, but I'm just seeing it everywhere. Like, it's brutal, man. You guys are the source of my love. It's phenomenal. Yeah, I had to be smacked in the back of the head by God. But, hey, I take comfort in the fact that Peter was a sinner. Matthew was a sinner. Paul was a sinner. All these guys were complete rejects, so to speak. And Jesus took them in. Hey, I got you, man. You're okay. Don't worry about it. Just knock it off. Go apologize, and then you're forgiven. Wait, see how I wrapped that all up? That was fantastic. All right. I'm finishing the flower bed out in front. So I have to make a run over to Home Depot and get some dirt. I'm going to do a bunch of yard work, and then I'm going to go, and I got a bunch of, you guys are going to see, the weed problem in these rocks is insane. So I got to go. I'm not looking forward to this because the weed killer, not healthy stuff. You don't exactly want to get that stuff on you. But I got to go buy a big jug and just wipe these weeds out. You know, I bought a blowtorch. I got a big propane tank and a blowtorch to burn up the weeds. Bad idea, especially if it's windy. Don't do that. So the blowtorch idea went out the window. Yeah. But the reality is, every single one of these things, I get to go and do the weeding. I get to go and mow the lawn. It's a blessing. I shouldn't have any of this stuff. By all, just by all accounts, I should be in a gutter somewhere. I really should. But the miracles that can happen when you just go to God and say, hey, I'm sorry. How can I fix this? It's amazing. So go out, love one another, give your energy to people, and you will see how amazing it is. And not the ones that you just want to. Not the people, I want to give this person my energy because they make me happy. No. Give your energy to everyone. And see how it plays out. I love you, girls. Oh, wait a minute. Speaking of blessings, I'm going to be away for the next 3 weeks. I got another blessing. One that makes 0 sense unless you look at it from this perspective of God giving me blessings. Because the way things worked out, the sequence of events that had to happen, I'm not going to tell you just yet, but the sequence of events that had to happen for this to occur, chances are 0 without God's intervention. 0. But it did. And so I got to go and do some stuff for the next 3 weeks, and then I'll be back. I might take the camera with me. I might not. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. But I'm telling you, I on everything that is in my soul, if you just repent, say you're sorry. Hey, God, how can I fix this? What do you need me to do? Go sit in the silence, figure it out. Stop going and hanging out with your friends and figuring out what Tay-Tay is doing. No. Figure out your own life and how God can guide you, and crazy stuff happens. And I mean crazy. So, yeah, blessings. Thank you for that, by the way. So there, pray just like that. That's how you pray. Just by saying thank you. All right, girls, I love you so much. Every day without you is absolute misery, but it is a misery that I'm grateful for because it means you guys exist. Go out and love one another in the same way I love you. I will see you in about 3 weeks.